Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the channel World of Wrestling, here to prove that we are the channel of all wrestling in the world. Here today, we're going to discuss about New Japan Wrestling's Resurgence pay-per-view that took place on August 14th, 2021. I sat through 3 hours of the entire pay-per-view, watched every single match along with me doing my job at the same time, since I didn't have to make phone calls over the phone. So I was able to watch and do my job at the same time. So I was able to do double the work in one day. I didn't have to wait after work and watch 3 hours of this shit. Got it done, out of the way, watched it. It was a pretty decent show, guys. I actually enjoyed it. It had some moments here and there that was boring. The first three matches weren't so much of an interest to me, and I didn't keep my eyes close on the screen on what was going on. I kind of just got the gist of what was going on in these first three matches. When we got to the fourth match, that's when things started getting a little bit intriguing and got better as we went along. A lot of tag team matches in the first match, first three matches actually. So it was a little bit of an annoyance. There was one match that took place just before the tag team matches that was a singles competition. It was actually Carl Fredericks defeating Alex Coughlin in a 10-minute match. These two guys are right out of a dojo, LA dojo, that New Japan Wrestling has opened up so they could train their performers and so forth. These two guys weren't too bad in the ring. I mean, it was a pretty average match, but it was a good way to open up the show. I don't think that this match was bad at all. They don't have any flavor to them in the sense of like coming across what is their character? What are they providing? They got some charisma, and I didn't see that. I saw good wrestling capability in the ring. I just did not see anything that stuck out at me that will make them larger than life characters. I'll tell you one guy that sticks out at me like a fucking, not a sore thumb, but sticks out at me like nobody's business. Jay White was on point tonight, or during this event, I should say, not tonight. The event took 5 days ago. Took place 5 days ago, so who the hell gives a shit tonight? What the fuck? Anyway, yeah, Jay White was amazing. At the end of his match, he cut a beautiful promo, which I'll get into when I get to that point. But yeah, the first match was not that bad. It was a normal little singles match between two young guys that just came out of a dojo training camp with New Japan Wrestling. And they weren't too shabby. I mean, they were okay. Next match on the card was Clark Connors, Ren Narita, and TJP defeating Fred Rosser, who formerly went by Darren Woods, I believe was his name, with Primetime Players in WWE with Titus O'Neil. And he also had Rocky Romero and Wheeler Yuta, who actually performs in AEW. Or at least I've seen him perform in AEW. I don't know where he's officially signed to, because it seems like a lot of the really lower card wrestlers seem to go everywhere. So you don't really know who they're really officially with. Seems like they're just all over the place. As I was watching this show, and I saw all the different talent from different corporations coming together in this show, it really got me thinking, wouldn't it be interesting if they did a fifth pay-per-view in AEW scheduling somewhere in between the summer from May with Double or Nothing to All Out, maybe do a July pay-per-view where they do AEW versus the world in the sense of like all the different promotions, New Japan, Impact Wrestling, and just like how All In was, you know. that pay-per-view in 2018, they did an all-in pay-per-view. They performed at I think it was the United Center? I think it was the United Center. Somewhere in Chicago. I know it was in Chicago. I just think that would be fucking awesome. If they did something of that kind of nature and they put titles on the line from different promotions. That would be really cool stuff. I think that would bring a lot of people's attention to a pay-per-view like that. I mean, nobody, and I've never seen that done anywhere. I mean, right now what they're doing in AEW and with all these other promotions has never been done before. It's like all the cool kids are coming together. They're all having a good time. They're having a blast. They're partying it up. They're doing what they want to do to make some money and get their promotion noticed by fans. Hardcore wrestling fans that really give a shit about pro wrestling, not just casual fans that once in a while show up and watch their show. They want to follow it week by week and know what's going on and be in the know. And I think this idea that I just came up with would be a really cool idea. I don't know if that would work though, because the inner workings among all these promotions, I don't know how they would do it. There might be conflict of interest among the different promotions that might not work. But if it was to work, if it is something they could do, I would highly recommend them doing it. Because I think a lot of people would be interested in seeing a big-fledged show in the United States in a big fucking match. In different matches with all these different companies competing over each other. It could be like Survivor Series, you know. Survivor Series, they've made Survivor Series into the place where Raw and SmackDown battle it out for bragging rights and shit. Well, the way AEW and the rest of the promotions work together, they would be able to get that idea across in a better way because they all compete throughout the entire year, going on each other's shows and actually fighting over championships or just getting the rights to earn a win over the other. So that concept, I think, would be great. The only problem is, and I'm not sure of it because I'm not in the inner workings of the wrestling business, would there be a conflict of interest? Is that why they haven't come up with an idea like that yet? But I think it would be kind of a neat idea for them to do. It doesn't even have to be AEW's own personal pay-per-view. It could be like a pay-per-view that everyone's involved in, like they did in All In. But I think that would be kind of a neat idea. I think a lot of people would be interested in that. So please let me know in the comments down below about that. Tell me what you guys think about that kind of idea. Do you think it would work? Do you think there would be kind of conflict of interest among the different promotions? Or do you think this would be a great idea for all the companies involved with this, you know, forbidden door shit to actually come to fruition and actually be on a pay-per-view of its own? Because I think that would be fucking awesome. Or, you know, you could do like an invasion type of thing like WWF did with the WCW, ECW shit. I mean, I like that type of storyline that they had. The only problem is they didn't have enough star power to get that type of storyline over, just in my personal opinion. But yeah, that was match number 2. But yeah, the 6-man tag team match, I'm giving that like a 2.5. Nothing special happened there. A few things happened here and there, but that's about it. TJP picked up the victory for his team. The first match with Carl Fredericks defeating Alex Coughlin. I'm giving that match a 3 out of 5 stars. That was actually a decent match. So yeah, those two guys really did a good job opening the show. The next match after that was a 10-man tag team match, which outside of Leo Rush, man, the rest of this entire match, I could have cared less. So Adrian Quest, Chris Dickinson, Fred Yeehaw, Leo Rush, and Yuya Imura defeated Team Filthy, which consisted of Danny Limelight, Joel Nelson, J.R. Kratos, who, by the way, is actually a very interesting tall dude who seems to be a pretty damn intimidating guy. I could imagine J.R. Kratos and Lance Archer doing a good job as a tag team. I think that would help Lance Archer, truthfully. I think the singles run has really been shit lately. Royce Isaacs and Tom Lawler were the other two guys that were on Team Filthy. And Tom Lawler, I believe, was a former MMA fighter who turned into a professional wrestler. He worked in MLW, Major League Wrestling. I think he still does. And he also works in New Japan Wrestling as well. So, match, whatever. I mean, it was no big deal. It really didn't need to be on the match card, to be quite frank with you. Neither was a 6-man tag team match. Personally, I give the match a 2.5 as well out of 5. I didn't think much of that match either. Those are the two matches I really did not like. But after that, things got a little bit better. We moved on to a singles competition between Juice Robinson and Hikuleo, who is a Samoan wrestler, part of the Bullet Club. So, yeah, they competed. Juice Robinson won this match by a roll-up pin. Unfortunately, he was not able to put him away with the left fist of God. Juice Robinson was unfortunately unable to do so with that finisher. So he ended up rolling him up eventually during the match. And that's how the match ended. Decent match. I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't too shabby, but the ending was a little bit weak. If the ending would have been a little bit stronger, I actually would have made it a 3.5, possibly even a 4. I think maybe I'm being a little too generous by giving it a 4, but 3.5 most definitely would have been a score I would have given it. Next match after that was Tomohiro Ishii defeating Moose. This was a 16-minute plus match. Very good match. These guys tore it up. Moose looked great. Even in defeat, he was fucking awesome in this match. This match, I would definitely give a 3.5 out of 5 stars. This was a good matchup. These two guys had a fucking barn burner of a match. They really roughed each other up. You want two buffed up dudes or rough guys that are tough in the ring and stuff and they're stiff. These are the two guys you want to see perform against each other, because that's what they did. They fucking unloaded on one another. Were they protecting each other? Absolutely. They were trying to keep each other from getting injured. But they tried to sell the other person's move very well, making it look like it hurt. And some of their moves did hurt, like German suplexes. The clotheslines look pretty stiff to me. Not stuff I would want to take in the chest. Let me just put it that way. But great action overall between those two guys. Moose unfortunately lost. I was hoping Moose was going to win, but Ishii wins the matchup and gets the victory. So congratulations to him in a tremendous victory there. Immediately following that, we had Will Osprey. Yes, folks, Will Osprey showed up. I thought Will Osprey retired from New Japan Wrestling and was moving on to something else with another promotion or something like that, and was just taking a break, but found out in his promo he was injured while he was a world heavyweight champion. He never lost the title. The title became vacated, and he said, "You know what's really fucked up, man? And he is coming across like a total fucking prick. Came out in a really nice suit, 2 gold chains, 1 very thick gold chain. He looked like he was fucking just Ric Flairing it out, man. He looked like the Nature Boy Ric Flair, the way he came out in that suit and shit. He was wearing nice sunglasses. And he said, you know something? I don't understand one thing. You guys are going to tell me that I'm going to be stripped of the World Heavyweight title because I was going to be out for a couple of months, which if you could have just given me 4 months, I would have been able to come back in that 4 months and provide you my services as world champion and to be a fighting champion. You got Jon Moxley, who's a champion for an entire year and never defends the fucking belt. He's the U.S. champion. The U.S. champion in New Japan Wrestling. He's the champion for an entire year and hardly ever defended the belt. Not even once. Until like near the end of the pandemic, where we were finally feeling a little bit more secure, allowing people to be around each other a bit more than usual, than what we were last year. And he just was like on point. Something I actually would love to see, Jon Moxley going up against Will Osprey for the New Japan World Championship, IWGP World Championship, against Will Osprey. Now, there's another guy, Nagata, I believe is his name. I'm not 100% sure of the guy's name. Never seen him perform either. He claimed what he really is. He said that guy who is carrying around that championship is a interim world champion. I am the real world heavyweight champion. So chances are we're going to see the champion versus champion and crown an undisputed champion, so that we now have an official world champion where there's no disputing who is the champ. That's pretty much where I see where this is going. Probably at some G1 special event that might take place. May see it at, there's an event taking place in San Jose, California. Battle of the Valley on November 13th. They may do that as a way of crowning the undisputed champion just before they move into the Wrestle Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome, which I figure they're going to be able to still do despite the fact of the issues with the COVID. But I've been hearing Japan's been having all kinds of problems with this virus, worse than in other countries. So I hope they get that taken care of and they get better with that and don't have to worry about getting so many of their people sick. Because that thing, man, I'll tell you what, everyone talks about this vaccination shit. I mean, yeah, at first I was like, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe if I just play it smart, wear my mask, stay away from people and not be in large crowds, and if I am, wear a mask and all that stuff. And I'm just like reading about stuff about this. This vaccine, if you have an allergic reaction, you could die. I mean, literally, why am I going to go out there, take a vaccine, and get sick and die? And I'm going a little off course here. I'll get right back onto the review, but I just want to give you guys a little insight on this. If you guys are worried to take this vaccine, if you think you have the even slightest chance of getting sick or possibly dying from this vaccine, now you might get sick because it's like the flu vaccine. The flu vaccine does get you sick, but it doesn't like hurt you really bad. But if you have the slightest belief that you could possibly be allergic to something and it may possibly kill you and you're worried about it, do not take it. It ain't worth your life. Because if you really think about it, you're watching a lot of people get vaccinated in sports. They're still getting sick and they're still getting fucked up from this virus. So bottom line, it's really a personal choice on your end. My choice is I don't want to take that virus. I don't care for it. I don't believe it's going to help, and I'm not going to take it unless I know for a fact it helps people. And it don't. It proves 100%. There was a sports athlete, a baseball player, I believe, who got it and was severely sick even when he took the vaccine. He took the vaccine before he got it, and he was severely sick, as if he never took the vaccine to begin with. And the guy took the vaccine before he got sick. So come on, guys. This vaccine is a joke. They need to find something new that could fix this issue. Japan is having all kinds of issues. You couldn't even have fans in the Olympics, I believe. I'm more than certain, about 90% certain they didn't have any fans in the audience. I didn't watch the Olympics, but I've heard that they were about to cancel the fucking Olympics because of how severe this issue is in Japan. So, bottom line, guys, it doesn't matter if you get vaccinated. It doesn't matter if you do. If you don't, whatever. It don't make a difference. You get it, you get it. That's all there is to it. Just be protective of yourself. If you're in large crowds like a stadium, I don't give a fuck if you got a vaccine. Wear a damn mask. Be smart. You got a vaccine, you don't have a vaccine, wear a fucking mask. That's all I have to say on that. Let me get back to the review. I apologize to any of you who don't care about this commentary on the pandemic situation. I just happened to mention it because we're talking about New Japan Wrestling and how Japan is dealing with this virus and how the Olympics was about to be canceled. So I thought it'd be kind of a cool way of kind of jumping a little off topic by still talking about what we're still supposedly supposed to talk about. So apologize if you guys didn't want to hear that, but I just thought I'd get that off my chest and tell you guys how I feel about that stuff. All right, next was a tag team not a tag team championship match, just a tag team match with Jon Moxley and his mystery partner, which was Yuji Nagata, his former opponent for his IWGP US Championship. They developed a common bond, a friendship through competition, so he wanted him to be his partner going up against the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. This match was a very entertaining tag team match. This was actually a solid match. 3.5 out of 5 stars. Very good matchup for a tag team that had no championship on the line. So I enjoyed this match. This was really good. Afterwards, Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa actually got involved in the match after the match was over. They started talking about Doc Gallows. The Good Brothers were standing there talking on a mic saying how all the fans came to this event to see the Elite and that we are the original Bullet Club members. We are the ones that made Bullet Club what they are today, so forth. And Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa, they came out and from Gorillas of Destiny, they went ahead and made their appearance felt. They pretty much stared down the Good Brothers. We're going to possibly see at some point down the line the Elite versus the Bullet Club. I am guaranteeing you guys this is going to happen somewhere on some promotion. We are going to see this either in New Japan Wrestling, AEW, or possibly even Impact, because Impact has provided some storyline telling on that as well with Jay White and Kenny Omega. So don't look past this. This could possibly still happen. We could possibly see an Elite versus Bullet Club. They keep hinting it on different promotions. The only place they haven't really hinted it yet was AEW. AEW has not gotten that kind of storyline blended into their show. So once we see that, I really think that's going to be the boiling point when we see that storyline explode and these two factions are going to go at it and more than likely go into war games with each other, which is called Blood and Guts for AEW's version of war games. Moving forward from that, we had the the Never Openweight Championship. Jay White was the champion going in, defending it against David Finlay. This match was excellent. I don't know why this match was not the main event. This was a great storyline between two guys that have been competing over each other, like fighting each other for many years. They worked together in 2015. They were good friends. And then eventually along the way, Jay White turned and they became enemies. And for the last 3 years or so, they have been great foes to each other. I think they said the record was 12-2 between Jay White and David Finlay. Jay White being the victor 12 times out of 14. So he's gotten a lot more victories over David Finlay. And Jay White won here. He retained his championship, and it was a fucking excellent match. Main event quality, 100%. This match, I'm giving a 4 out of 5 stars with no question. Hands down, an excellent match between these two guys. Awesome match. Next after that was Hiroshi Tanahashi facing Lance Archer for his IWGP US Championship in the main event. Tanahashi and Lance Archer, this was like watching JBL and John Cena for the WWE Championship back in WrestleMania 21. That's what this match reminded me of. Tanahashi got his ass kicked by Lance Archer throughout most of the match. And eventually Tanahashi, near the end, picks up a victory with a few frog splashes. And by, I believe, the third frog splash, he hits it and gets the victory. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention Jay White's match. Afterwards, when the match ended, Jay White went ahead and cut a terrific promo on Tomohiro Ishii. He actually was coming out and looked like he wanted to challenge Jay White for the Never Openweight Championship. Jay White went ahead and he says, you know what? You're a fucking loser, man. You've been in this company for what, 25 years? You have not won but a few championships. I've been with this company for only a few years now, and I have won every single belt ever that you could ever own in this company. Tag team titles, 6-man tag team titles, the IWGP Intercontinental title, the heavyweight title, the US Championship, and the Never Openweight title as well. I am a multi-time Triple Crown World Champion, Grand Slam champion. I have won every single belt in this company, and that's what this whole thing is about. Wins, losses, and how many championships you have won in your career, and your ass has been here for 25 years, and I've won more titles than you have won in your whole fucking career. I loved it. He fucking cut a beautiful promo. If you guys don't have New Japan Wrestling World, I would recommend it. It's only $9.99 a month. If you got a credit card, just charge it on your credit card. You can pay it at the end of the month or something like that. So you don't have to worry about it being drafted out of your checking account. But yeah, I mean, it's a great service. It's like WWE. It's a little difficult to navigate on. You're probably better off searching for the name of the event that you want to go watch instead of having to search through a bunch of fucking events that took place in their entire history. It's a little crazy to have to do that. I've tried that, and it takes a little while, especially if you're doing it on a computer. Or if you have an Xbox, it works on an Xbox. But, yeah. And it does work on Fire Stick. Fire Stick definitely has that. So, yeah, the main event, though, with Tanahashi defeating Lance Archer for the United States Championship wasn't a bad main event. I'm not going to say it was shit. It was a good match. It was especially classy what they did at the end. Tanahashi won the match. They shook hands. Lance Archer said, look, man, you know, all the talk I said about tearing you apart and everything, I've always respected you. I just want to win matches and retain my belts that I own. So, nothing personal. It was all business type of mentality that he was saying to him. I've had all the respect in the world for you from day one, and congratulations. Good for you, man. I'm happy for you that you won the championship. Shook his hand and he walked away. And that was it. Tanahashi thanked the audience for showing up. It was a nice little ending, very classy-like. It wasn't no trash that you'd see at the end with the heels coming in the middle of the ring, having a gang up beat down on one person type of thing. It was, sports authentic sportsmanship. So overall, I really enjoyed this show. It wasn't a terrible show. It wasn't the greatest New Japan Wrestling show I've ever seen, but it was a decent show and well worth your 3 hours of your time. The matches I probably would skip would be... First match I would skip. It wasn't all that big of a deal. Like I said, it was just two youngsters coming out of a dojo and performing in front of an audience for... I don't think it was their first time, but, performing in a very important event. The first 3 matches I would definitely skip. From Juice Robinson and Hikuleo on down, from their match on down, I would definitely watch the rest of that entire pay-per-view if you want to go back and watch it, just to save yourself some time so you don't have to watch full 3 hours of action. But outside of those 3 matches, the rest of the card was a really good show. I enjoyed it. It felt more like a pay-per-view type of event after that. From the first 3 matches. After the first 3 matches, the rest of the show felt like an actual pay-per-view instead of just like some ordinary regular show. But yeah, bottom line, solid, entertaining stuff. I enjoyed it. If you if you caught this show, I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you haven't, go back and watch it if you can. I definitely recommend this show to you guys. But anyway, at this time, guys, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel, of course. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. And I thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.